Footwear Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
But just fucking show up with Steph Curry from time to time.
And they didn't want you to work.
And they didn't want me to actually work where I could actually
and
make
now
these
the
shoes
whole,
look good.
Now the whole industry works remotely because we went through a fucking pandemic now. Nobody go to
exactly.
office.
You could have had Devlin Carter, you know.
You could have had Devlin Carter for sure. So like and just to I'm not skipping ahead, but I'm all over the place a little bit because your story is so interesting to now where you are making a Saya shoe. And it's being in the NBA with somebody like Montrezl Harrell. But I just looked at a model up there that not even looks like a basketball shoe, just a straight lifestyle shoe. Could be a designer shoe, but it's a functional basketball sneaker.
Oh yeah, you talking about the Trez?
Yeah,
one?
the Trez.
Yeah.
Like it's a crazy shoe. Like to me, and I saw that one online because I saw all the other ones, and I'm not into from the era we come from, so I'm not into modern day performance basketball shoes.
Right. And I'm glad you said that because when me and Trez had got together to do the shoe, I said me personally, I think where basketball shoes fucked up is that they no longer look good with jeans.
Right.
So, and I said when we design this shoe, it has to look good with jeans. Like you just said, that shoe doesn't look like it could be a performance shoe. It looks too dope. It looks like a shoe you would wear with jeans. And that was the goal. And that's the only kind of shoes that I wanted to design because so even if I make a functional basketball shoe, I'm not, mind you, I don't pay for advertisement. I don't do any of that. Everything is just word of mouth. So I don't have enough word of mouth to be sitting here making a performance basketball shoe in the performance basketball shoe world and be like, oh shit, there's a Saya, like we're working on a shoe right now called the Saya Bounce. So it's going to be a basketball shoe.
Okay.
Right? So it's going to be a functional basketball shoe, but it still has to look good with jeans, just like our skate sneakers. Our skate sneakers, because it costs so much for an independent person to make a shoe, we have this. That's our cheapest shoe, and it's $189, right? But that's expensive for a skate shoe. So for somebody going to literally fuck up a skate and tear them up, like a pair of Vans is like $70.
Right.
So I said, what could I do to make this shoe where I can still make money off it and probably got to make it as cheap as I can. And $189 was the cheapest I can make it. But what I did, I made that shit look good with jeans. And then I made the way the toe box comes up and the rubber comes up, it'll take you twice as long to fuck it up.
Fuck them up with a kickflip.
Like with the kickflip, right. So that's why I call them kickflips.
Right.
So that way now it's kind of like, yeah, you could buy a pair of Vans, but by the time you're on your second pair of Vans, you still just getting off your first pair of these.
And skaters really don't change shoes like motherfuckers
no, once
in
they
the
get
street
them, once
get.
they get them shits like the form and they like
they'll
how
rather
the
put
shit's
tape
right.
on them than
they'll
change them out.
Yeah, but they had to put tape on them because there was nothing protecting it. So it's going to take them a lot longer to get through that rubber that we got on there than it is.
Speaking of that's the skate, but that's the kick flips. But the skate,
the ones with the straps,
is kind of in the silhouette of a dunk,
right?
And but that's a thing that was online that people talked about a lot was the other shoe that I think inspired that shoe. Is it the
Matsumoto's? Which was inspired by the dunk.
Which was inspired by the dunk. But the first person we all know in popular culture to see wear them was Kanye. When he changed his style, when he left his Ralph Lauren stage.
Yeah.
And he went
and
into
he started going to the Japanese and getting because those was made in Japan. So he seen them out there, and he was one of the ones. Lupe, it was a few rappers that was onto them. Like those type of dudes that actually be going to Japan and shit. So like I love those shoes from when. Remember when Kanye had the red ones with the white sole, and I used to rock them. So when I did the skate shoe, I was like, damn. I was like, remember. The Auto Matsumoto's was inspired by the dunks.
By the dunks.
So I was like, so when I made them, I called them Dunk Autos. So I made them. So it was doing a hybrid of the Nike Dunks and the Auto Matsumoto. So inside the shoe on the tag, it says code name Dunk Auto. So I'm telling you where the inspiration is coming from. And I was trying to, so that whole, so I'm glad you asked that question because this is the perfect time to say this. So when I started Saya, he told you shit, you just told him like, yo, I was a customizer in 97.
Right.
So for me to start Saya somewhere in America launched after my first son was born.
Okay.
Right? It's somewhere in America, his name is Devlin Carter. That's my son's name.
Okay.
I'm Devlin Lamont. He's Devlin Carter.
Okay.
Right? So, and when he was born, that's the date you see on the Sire Run shoes. That's his birthday. We launched a year after.
Okay.
So, but when you launch a company, I'm like, this is my company. This is gonna be my family name. So you see like Gucci, Louis, all of those names. You guys are wearing people's last names on you. That's their family's name. That's their legacy. So I said, well, my shit, I got to tell y'all my story. My story was I was a customizer first. So now I'm taking you back. So like with the Dunk Autos, like remember my first shoe for FBCC was the VV1.
The VV1.
And the VV1 was a combination of the Louis Vuitton Dons and the Kanye Nike Air Yeezy 1 because to me that's Black history that people really not paying too good attention to. And I always said that.
Came out in the same year.
Came out in the same year, but it's both the #1 retailers. Nike is the #1 retailer in the world. Louis Vuitton is the #1 luxury retailer.
Crazy.
And a Black dude from Chicago made his own signature shoe with both those companies in the same year and came out like 3 months apart. Right now, they just released the numbers. The most valuable brand in the world is Nike, and #2 is Louis Vuitton. Those numbers just came out last week.
But how do you feel like as far as like, okay, Kanye, they no one had Louis Vuitton hadn't collabed with any artist per se outside of artists that paint or
like
draw
real, like real artists.
No musical artists.
No.
And they chose Kanye.
Yeah.
This is how impactful our culture is.
Yeah.
That's what people need to understand. But even in that aspect, the person you are, the alpha male you are, the beast that you are, when you like fuck that, you got the Dame Dash. That's me.
Yeah.
You know, like David can take down Goliath.
Right.
But in a situation like Kanye, to have heard him express interning at these companies for small amounts of money when he was a millionaire, wanting to infiltrate those walls and be inside of those buildings, him and Virgil. Now I can understand Virgil's position, right? Because Virgil was coming on, meeting people, trying to get bigger,
and you can tell he's easier to get along with than Kanye.
Right, with Kanye. But did you see the heart? I mean, because we actually saw one of our heroes melt down in front of our eyes, in my opinion, with the Sway shit. Because Sway asked him about what you're doing.
Right.
What
Sway asked him is exactly what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I'm the answer to how Sway.
You are the answer to how Sway. Absolutely. But in his mind, and we got to see more of Kanye now. So
in a Genius documentary too.
Yes. And the enigma of him, it's more understandable now.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, but I say that to say,
I know exactly what you get.
Us still wanting to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Power structure. I just need those.
But think about this. Kanye verified it right there when Sway from Oakland. One thing, if you're watching this and you don't know about Oakland, and I'm gonna tell you, because when I came here, I realized like E40 went platinum independent. Like these guys independently do their own music. Like that's one thing I loved about it. They do their own music. When I say do their music, I don't mean making a mixtape of some other niggas' songs and then selling it like we used to do an ad. Like these niggas making their own albums and really doing shows and making hella money off of just doing the shit without a record label. I never seen it done like that. So I gotta give the Bay Area, them niggas, their props for that. And and watching that also made me be able to do what I'm doing. But watching that, I exactly understand what Sway was saying. Like, how come you can't do it? Because he comes from a place where niggas just go and do it. Right? So, but in Kanye's head, he's in the materialistic world of a rapper in the way we come up in the hood trying to want all this shit, their shit, right? So when he said, why can't you do it? Kanye blew up like, look at, dang, Ralph though. Like in his head, that nigga was like, it ain't Ralph Lauren. Because it's the same exact enigma, the same shit that Dapper Dan said on the Breakfast Club. He was like, I did it because all these people had the luggage and all that. So he said, what can I do to make these niggas walking around New York look like walking luggage? He literally said that.
Right, he did.
So y'all want to look like walking billboards for the popular shit, because my thing is, I feel like black people would see themselves wearing Louis Vuitton. They think they're closer to the rich white folks that don't give a fuck about them, that don't, no matter how much shit you have on, you're still a nigga.
You still a nigga.
In the Benz.
Like
Kanye said.
Have you seen that old video that was floating around of how to sell to a nigga?
Yes, how to sell to the Negro. Yes, he said the Negro wants the name brand, because the whole time we're trying to buy white acceptance.
It's a poverty
we're trying to buy white acceptance. That's all we're trying to do, because we feel like if we're closer to white luxury or white wealth, we feel like we're closer to them, and we'll never be that to them because they have white supremacy. You live in a country that was built on slavery. It was built on oppression. It's built on we're better than you because you're this color and we're this color. That's never gonna change. That's in the fucking fiber. There's fucking kids right now, 10 years old, calling another black kid on the playground a nigga, and he mean the shit. Right. That should not exist, but it exists because it will never be. Right. It's like Thanos. Thanos says we can never achieve what we can be as long as it exists is what it was. Like, and in the movie, the first time I watched, I didn't even really think about it like that. But then the more I think about life, I'm like, damn, this nigga Thanos was true. He was the truth. He was like, yo, we gotta kill all you niggas. I don't care. Babies, everybody, you gotta go. Yeah, you innocent now, but that nigga raising you is gonna fuck you up, and it's gonna fuck up. I want to see pureness. We can't have pureness because we're built on fucked up, right? So that same concept is what Kanye was thinking, right? Even as a fucking multi-millionaire rapper and a wife that's worth millions, has millions of dollars, you can literally jump on a plane and go to China and do all this shit yourself. I did it.
You did it.
I did it as a multi-thousand-aire, right?
Did it.
100-aire first, right? So I did that shit, broke, went to China. And literally that trip to China is what made me a millionaire.
Changed your life.
Because I made connections. I found different people than the people I was already working with. And so when COVID happened and the black guy who was helping make my shit who lived in China can't live there no more because they don't want foreigners there. So he has to live in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is New York.
Right. It don't manufacture
No, they don't manufacture shit.
It ain't the country.
No. You got to go that 45-minute bullet train ride to Guangzhou, Guangdong.
Yeah.
Guangdong. You got to be there to find all of this shit. He can't go there. He's a foreigner. Right? So because if I didn't make that trip, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
That's crazy.
And this trip Kanye could have been took. But see, also the thing is the knowledge of knowing that you could go there. And that's the beautiful part of the internet. When you can Google and find the shit, find these companies and these motherfuckers speak English, you find the contact email and you start engaging and conversing. Now you're like, oh shit, you have the plug.
You got the plug.
You found Pablo. Right? So my whole thing is I did 11 years in the military. Not just the military, but the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is 1% black. Like, there's not a lot of black people in the Coast Guard. So I'm taking orders from these white motherfuckers. And some of these motherfuckers is racist.
Yeah.
Right? So it built the complex in me. Right? That I don't want shit from them. When I buy shit, when I build Sire, no bank loans. I already know I can't get a bank loan to build this shit because my oppressor is not going to finance my freedom. You know what I'm saying? Your oppressor is not
going to finance
They're
your
not.
freedom.
Why would
That's
they do that? Because it's leverage. They own your leverage. They want your leverage. If they own your leverage, they own you.
Right.
You could sit out here and have $10 million. But if you borrowed it from him, he owns you.
Stay all blue.
I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair on like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to Lil' M.